Good evening. So, welcome to yet another session under the Ask Me Anything. This happens every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Indian Standard Time. So, today I'll try to explain about how. Hi, Oro. Good evening. So, today I'll try to explain to you about how medicated oils are being created. Hi, Kim. Okay, so how do you make medicated oil? Because you get oils, you get medicated. You see different ways in which people make medicated oils by infusing herbs into this. But traditionally, according to Ayurveda, how is a medicated oil made is something which we are going to see in this class. Okay, and it's pretty interesting. With a lot many times people put a lot of things into oil and boil it and they say that's medicated oil, but traditionally that is not the way you make medicated oil. And let us get into it. Okay, so medicated oil making. So oil can be they are actually, they come under a common word called sneha. Sneha means, the sliminess. So anything that has got a sliminess, we call that snigdha guna. Because oil has got that snigdha guna or the slimy guna, they come under the sneha. Okay, now let's see. You would have heard that word sneha, which means attachment or love. That is because it sticks. That property of sliminess. That's why it's called sneha. Now, let us get into this next thing. So, medicated oil, ghee they also come under the sneha. They've got the sneha quality, right? So, they also come under the sneha category. So, these are the most important things which we use: medicated oils and medicated ghees. And the way you make them are similar. Okay, so let us see how these are being made. So, these are medicated fats. Okay. This process of making medicated oil is called sneha vidhi. Vidhi is rule. Sneha vidhi is how you make that sneha, how you make that medicated oil or ghee. Okay, so mostly sneha dravyas are four, and these are the four things which are being used as sneha dravya in medicine, and they are ghrutam, that is ghee; Thailam, that is oil; vasa, that is muscle fat, okay, and majja, that is marrow. So these four things are most commonly used as sneha. Okay, of this, ghee is supposed to be considered to be superior than all these three. The reason is that if you take an oil and you normal sesame oil, gingerly oil, we call that, you infuse some medicines into it and make an oil, the medicines will actually transform the quality of the oil and the properties of the medicine. The oil becomes, it takes in the properties of the medicine, and you can change the property of the oil. But ghee, if you add some herbs into the ghee and make a medicated ghee, the properties of the ghee, properties of the herbs, the ghee will definitely absorb and take, but its innate property, the ghee's innate property, it does not lose. Okay, so so that is samskarasya anuvartana. That means even after you make a medicated ghee, the qualities of the herbs get into the ghee, but ghee will not leave its own qualities. But Thailam, vasa, and majja, okay, if you medicate it with the herbs, you can change the properties of those. That is why we consider ghee to be superior. Okay, now sneha vidhi. When you make a sneha pana, that means suppose you are making a ghee or an oil. Okay, what you do is you need three things inside it. One is you need a kashaya, Okay, or you need some liquid. It could be juice of some herbs, anything. That is called drava, the third one. And the second one is a sneha, or the oil or the ghee. So that is four parts. And you need fine powder, okay, or fine paste. That is kalka. So we start actually by taking the kalka first. So for example, if you are making bala taila, what you need is bala is sida cordifolia. If you're making bala taila, the bala fine paste or bala powder should be one part. Okay, and then you should have oil, four parts. So suppose you're taking 1 kilogram of bala powder, you have to have 4 kilograms of oil, and to that oil you have to add 16 parts. That means 4 into okay, the 16 parts. 16 parts of the bala kashaya. That means you make a kashaya of bala and add that 16 parts. So 1 is to 4 is to 16 is the proportion for almost all the oils or ghee. So how do you, so the dravya is 16 parts. If you're using some juice, that is directly milk, that is directly 16 parts. But if you have to make a kashaya, again it is a decoction. For that, what you do is, again you take bala, one part of bala. For that you add 8 parts of water and reduce it into half, into 4 parts. You reduce into half. Okay, so what happens is you reduce into 4 parts, you make it half. So that is what is being used as 16 parts. So 1 part of the powder, 4 parts of the oil, and 16 parts of the liquid has to be. So much of liquid actually gets into the making of medicated ghee or oil, and then you heat it under low fire, and the water slowly starts getting evaporated, because any dravya you use, it can be milk, or it can be, if you're using, for example, if you're using a hair oil, you add bringaraj juice, then that juice also is 16 parts. Okay, so that juice will have water, so that all the water has to slowly evaporate. Okay, so as we boil the this combination, water evaporates, the properties of the bringaraj or anything, or milk or whatever it is, slowly gets into the oil. Plus you have got a powders, or the medicated powders also inside. The properties of that powder will also get into the oil. So it is an elaborate process. Just by putting some herb into an oil and heating it will not make it medicated oil. Just if you add a little bit of liquid into it also will not make it medicated oil. You have to have the liquid in the oil, and you also have to have powders. Okay, then only it will get potensified. Okay, so this is how you sneha with it. This is how you make the oil. If you've got doubts, you can ask me later. Okay, I'll explain to you. And then sneha paka. So as you start making oil and the water starts getting evaporated, there are different stages at which you have to stop making the oil, depending upon what are you going to use that oil for. For example, okay, if you are using it for pouring inside your nose, nasya, then you stop it at the first level. Okay, if you are using it for intake, then you stop it at the second level. Vasti also use the second level. If you are using it for external application, then you have to heat the oil till it reaches the third level. So the first level is called mridupaka, or in Malayalam we call that mirga, that means wax. Okay, so and that is where this powder which you add into the oil comes to hand you. So as the oil starts boiling, you see bubbles coming, and after a point, bubbles will stop. That means there is no water left in the oil. So you take the powder from the oil and you check it out. If it is just like a wax, that means there is no water in it. It has reached the first stage. You can filter it, and that oil you can use for putting inside the nose. So it is very light. Okay, that oil is very light. So as you keep on heating, it gets slightly thicker. We reach madhyapaga, and in Malayalam we call it tiri. Tiri is all wick. So the powder which is in the oil, you can take it, you can roll it into a wick. That means from what was like a wax has become more like a wick now. That means it has become even more thicker. The powder has become even more thick, and the oil has also become slightly more thicker. That can be used for intake and for washing. Then if you keep on heating even beyond that, you will see that the powder which you have put inside it, which become extremely dry. So it slowly starts getting into the fry state. Okay, it starts getting, that is the, okay, the kharapaka, or we call that manal or sand. It starts becoming like sand. There the oil becomes extremely heavy and it becomes, stronger. That can be used for external application. So oil which is made, which where if you take it in the last paka, kharapaka, that cannot be given for nasya, to be put inside the nose. Okay, that cannot be given for intake. So the most of the oils which you get in the market, Dhanvantara Thailam, Mahanarana Thailam, Sahachara Thailam, and all, cannot be put inside the nose or cannot be given internally. Okay, but normally when you are making a ghee, okay, we normally stop in the madhyapaka or the tiripaka, where it comes like a wick, because all the ghees, most of the ghees are used for intake. Okay, so here the difference is that that which is being used for intake can be used for external application. That which is being used to put inside the nose can be used for intake and for external application. But it is not the other way around. What is being used for external application cannot be used for intake or for nasya. Okay, so it's only one way. So you should be very careful when you buy an oil from the market. You should know which paka it is. Okay, so this is very important. So these are different. So this is very important for you to understand that oils come in different stages of cooking. We actually filter it. Okay. Next one, paka lakshana. Okay, so how do you make out that the oil is ready or not? So as I said, it could be ghee or it could be oil. So when you are actually making a medicated oil, you will see that first immediately the froth goes down. Okay, after some time the froth goes down, and then after that blue, 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 it again starts. You can see start seeing bubbles and all those things. That is when you know that the oil has actually attained paka. It is ready. But it is not. It is. But when you're actually cooking a ghee, it is slightly different. There is and when you start cooking, there is froth in the beginning. In the ghee, the froth goes, and in oil, the froth goes and reappears. But in ghee, once the froth goes or the bubbling goes, then you should know that it is ready for you to use. Okay. So this is basically about how you make and you should know that oil making is not very easy, especially checking the paka, because oil will be very hot. If you have to take the paka and check it, you should be very experienced. It's not easy making an oil like that. Okay, so you may start asking me questions. So I see this thing, a question from Akshata. How much bee wax should be added to the medicated oil to solidify? I mean, what is the ratio? So we don't normally add bee wax into oils at all. Okay, medicated ghee especially, we don't add bee wax at all because it is for us to for intake. So bee wax is not added at all in ghee. But there are certain oils like pinda tailam. Okay, so pinda tailam, the shloka was madhu uchishta manjishta sa sardya rasa sa shariva. So madhu uchishta. Uchishta means what is remaining. Madhu is honey. So what remains after honey is bee wax. So bee wax is an ingredient in pinda taila. So that, okay, is basically you add for that, because there is 1:1, there is a proportion in which, okay, so that you add and then you make pinda taila. For lip balm, if you're making lip balm, I would say that whatever you feel. The lip balm is not something which Ayurveda manufactures. So if you want to make a lip balm, I would say you can into the oil. It might be half of the amount, or might be even 1/4 of the amount of oil would be enough for you to make that lip balm which is thick. Okay, and bee wax is a very natural thing. You can use it. Okay. Kim, no, no. See, I said 1:4:16. So when you actually making a kashaya, 8 parts of water. Okay, you are making 8 parts of water and then you are reducing it to 4 parts. Okay, so when you take that 4 parts of water, that 4 parts of water should be equivalent to the 16 parts. That means that 4 parts of water should be 4 times the amount of oil you take. So suppose if you're taking 4 liters of water and you need 16 liters of kashaya, okay, then how do you have to start? Then you have to start with, you have to actually start with 32 liters of water. 32 liters of water will get reduced to 16 parts. For the 16 parts, then you will have to have how much? You'll have to have probably 4 parts of the medicine. So you have 4 parts of the medicine, you add, you have, yes, you have 4 parts of medicine, you add that much amount of water, you boil it so that the total amount of kashaya that remains is 16 part. You don't dilute it more and then make it more, So it's a proportion. You need 16 parts of the finished kashaya there. Got it, right, Kim? Okay. So, and then, then you keep on, mostly we actually boil it under low fire, and you once in a while, as I said, once the bubbles will start coming, then the bubbles will go, and once the bubble really starts coming, then you know that there is no water. There are a lot of other tests also which we do. We take the kalka. Yes, Kim, the end result is 16 parts. That it need not be only kashaya. Okay, I just gave kashaya as an example. It's given only drava. It can be any liquid. If it's a kashaya, it could be like that. Sometimes you will have, milk. In Kshirabala, you have got milk. You have also got, in other things, you have got amlaki juice. It could be bhringaraja juice. It can be tamarind leaf juice. So everything is dravya. So everything should be 16 parts. You got that right? That liquid which you add while making an oil should be 16 parts. Okay, hope that is clear, Kim. Okay, so it could be kashaya, it could be any liquid, it could be milk, it could be, okay, it could be some juices or something, anything, but that should be 16 parts. Okay, so when we are making that oil, you see the powder which we put, we keep on checking that powder once in a while after the bubbles subside to know at which paka we have to take it. The moment it starts rolling in the wick, as a wick, we know that it has reached the paka where we can consume it. If it is still as a wax, we know that it is in nasya paka. So depending upon what purpose you are making that oil, you have to filter it at 3 different stages. There is also one more stage which Acharya mentions, that is dagdha paka or the burnt paka. That means after the third thing, if you keep on heating after that, it will start burning. And once it is burnt, you cannot use it. You have to throw it off. Okay. So there is one other method which we do is we take that powder from the oil and we put it in. We make a roll it and we try burning it. If you hear crackling sounds, that means there is still water in it. This is another way of checking it. Okay, you can roll the powder and put it in fire. If it is crackling sound, that means there is water in it. If it really burns well, then you know that the paka is ready. Okay. Yeah, Suma. So we started using cold pressed sunflower oil. Is it okay to use coconut oil for cooking? Yeah, Suma, it depends upon what you are used to. As far, oh, sorry, let me put this question there. Sorry, this is a question before that. I am from Kerala, and during my childhood, we used to use coconut oil for cooking, especially for seasoning. However, these days, I see a lot of articles claiming coconut oil shouldn't be heated. Suma, there, I don't agree to what you say. I'm sorry. If you look at the oils, coconut oil is one oil which can be heated into very, very high temperatures and they don't disintegrate. just like ghee. So you will see a lot of articles which say that sunflower oils and other oils should not be heated beyond a certain limit, but coconut oil can be heated to extreme high levels and still not get bad. You can use it. Okay. So since you are from Kerala, I would say it's always good for you to use coconut oil. Okay. You can heat it to very high temperatures. So you started using cold pressed sunflower oil. Coconut oil is being used in Kerala since time immemorial. Okay, I use coconut oil every day. We use coconut oil for frying. Everything we use coconut oil. You can use coconut oil if you are used to taking coconut oil. You said you are from Kerala. You can use coconut oil. You can use it for frying. Anything you can use. Coconut oil is one of the most stable oils in the market. Or how is Shata Dhauta Ghritam prepared? Okay. Ghritam. Ghritam actually means ghee. Shata means 100. Dhauta means washed. Okay, so all of this is basically 100 times washed ghee. The ghee itself is slightly on the cooler side. That means it cools the body down. So when you wash the ghee 100 times, in the sense you take might be 2 tablespoons of ghee and put it in water. Okay, and what you do is you keep on cleaning it. Then after some time, what you do is you put the ghee to one side. You pour the water away. You pour the next water, and then you keep on mixing it. Okay, and after some time, it'll form a lump. You put it to the side, strain the water, pour water. You keep on washing the ghee 100 times. When you wash the ghee 100 times, shata 100, dhauta washed, ghirta ghee 100 times washed ghee is shata dhauta ghirta. Yes, you can do that. You can do that. Okay. There are different ways in which you do it, but I would say it's always good for you to check the paka to know when to stop. If you're using for nasya, see to make out whether water is not there. This is one method. You can also burn the kalka. If you hear crackling noises, you know that water is still there. But to find out the paka, whether the oil is suitable for nasya or for intake or for external application, you have to check the kalka. Okay, so I've heard that some people, they just add some liquids. They just make a decoction of some herbs. They add it to the oil and they boil it, and then see, you can. I don't say it is wrong, but the best way for you to do is also add some powder into it so that you can make out the paka. Which is the best oil for cooking and best oil for body massage? Shyam, there is nothing like best oil. Shyam Nair, I suppose that you are from Kerala. For you, genetically, I think your parents, your grandparents, your great-great-grandparents, all of them consume coconut oil. So, coconut oil is the best for you. But I cannot go and tell a Tamilian that coconut oil is the best because he is used to taking sesame oil, gingerly oil, okay, tilka tel. And if you go up north, you'll see people take mustard oil. The other part, you will see people taking some other oil, So there is nothing called the best oil for cooking or the worst oil for cooking. No, absolutely. Whatever you are traditionally used and, certain areas, in my opinion, that is the best oil for you. And rice bran oil, as per Ayurveda, I've got no idea how to comment on that. And I'm actually not a very big fan of rice bran oil. I, either cook in coconut oil or in ghee. India people use ghee. So ghee would be one good option for people to cook. And apart from that, whatever that area or whatever you're used to, I would say use that oil. Yep. Any other questions? Yeah. Shweta. Which oil to be used in stretch marks and gray hair? Aha. Okay, see, stretch mark. Uh, I would say, my way of looking at stretch mark is actually uh, the it is a sign of motherhood. I don't think you have to feel bad about stretch marks. When it is really bad, stretch marks do happen when you see. Ayurveda says that you have to start applying oil. Abhyangamajarit nityam. You should take bath, apply oil on the body every day, and take bath. Okay, irrespective of whether you are a man or a woman or you are pregnant. So even during pregnancy, people used to apply oil. And that's the reason in those days, women never used to have too much of stretch marks because every day they will apply oil. So after you don't apply oil, your skin stretches, it breaks up, it cracks, and after delivery, when you look, you'll see stretch marks. And if you want to remove those stretch marks, it is not very easy, Shweta. So I would say you have to actually do that during your pregnancy from day one. Okay, keep on applying oil on your tummy. For that, Dhanvantaram Thailam is amazing. It is really good. Okay, some people also use Dhanvantaram Korambu. It's a difference between Dhanvantaram Thailam and Dhanvantaram Korambu. Okay, so Thailam is only one oil. Korambu is basically three things in that. It can be oil. Okay, it can be oil, ghee, and what do you call it? Castor oil. So anything three, if you mix, it's called a mishraka or a kodamba. So Dhanvantaram Thailam is something which is very good for removing stretch marks. But in my opinion, you have to start using it as your tummy starts growing and your skin stretches and breaks. But stretch marks is it's amazing. It reminds you of your motherhood. Namaste. नाभि में ऑयल डालने का इम्पोर्टेंस. If you see, Nabi is where all the nadis come and join. You have got all the according to all the nadis come and join in Nabi. So applying oil in the Nabi is very, very important. But when you look at Ashtanga Hridaya, it does not give too much of importance in application of oil in the Nabi. Okay, it says, Shira Shravana Padeshu. You should apply oil on every part of the body, especially the head, ear, and the feet. Okay, but applying oil in the Nabi is good. Again, I said it depends upon. There are people who apply castor oil. There are people who apply mustard oil. There are people who drop, olive oil. So whichever oil you feel actually suits you, you can do that. It is a place where all the nadis come and join. So you can use, in my opinion, simple tilka tel is more than enough for you to apply. Okay, in the Nabi. Or in winter season, which oil is better, Tilataila or coconut oil for excellent application? Coconut oil, leave winter aside. Even during summer, coconut oil is not good for extended application. You can, because the prabhava, it is very good for the hair. So you can apply it on the head for your hair, but for the body, in my opinion, it is not a very good option. Sesame oil or tilka tel should be the first option for people down south for them to apply. And if it gets very cold up north, I would say you can use, there are people who use mustard oil for external application. Coconut oil to apply on the body, in my opinion, is not a good choice. Preeti, I understand that. Okay. But the first thing, as I said, Nidana Parivarjanam Chikitsa. Nidana Parivarjanam is avoidance of causative factors at treatment. For that, the best thing for you to do is not go out in the sun. Okay, that's the first option. Second option is that you say your job demands to be outside most of the time. So I would say Shata Dhauta Gridam or Khajita Pinda Tailam. Okay, Pinda Tailam, which is also washed like this, which can be applied as a cream, is actually very good. It reduces the pitta and it is good. It works really well as a sunscreen lotion. But as I said, very good for you to not to get exposed to that hot sun. I understand that you are a civil engineer, but your body does not understand that, Preeti. Okay, it will definitely be affected. Okay. I no, Kip. I don't think you have to be that careful. Download just because you do download strokes. No, it will not induce downward movement of the fetus. No, normally what we do is we do it in circles, but as the woman starts getting pregnant, 3 months, 6 months, you will be at home. We have got people, midwives or somebody who will come and give them a good massage. They will lie down and the tummy is given a good massage. They will never give too much of pressure, but you don't have to be too worried about, because anyway you are not going to give too much of pressure. So it is absolutely okay to give a massage, but generally on the tummy we see that we almost always, even if the person is not pregnant, we do it in circles. But just because you give a downward movement might not affect too much. Yeah, Preeti Arjun, Shatadhauta Gardam is 100 times to washed ghee. Okay. The same thing, however, it is just like you take a little bit, apply on the affected area, or apply it before you go out in the sun. Shata Dhauta Gardam, 100 times washed ghee. Okay, it actually cools the body and it takes care. The harsh sun, it gives you protection to a certain limit. It's not like the anti-tan or sunscreen lotions, chemical things which you get in the market. It's always good you wear full sleeves and don't get too much exposed to the sun, Preeti. Okay. Samardhi Kanoja, see, all people are made different here. Samardhi, you should understand that. And size of the breast has got nothing to do with health. You might be healthy, but you can have people who have got their breasts which are slightly smaller than normal. Normal is again a very, 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 very vague term. Okay, so so anything which will promote fat. Okay, but the problem is that if you consume things which will make you put on weight, your fat is there, then you will see that your breasts start growing when you put on weight, fat. But once you start losing fat, you'll see the size of the breast also going down. So that, frankly speaking, Ayurveda, see, if you go through, I'll tell you, if you go through the text of Kama Sutra, there are certain oils which have been written which say that, but it is more about breast firming than increasing the size of the breast. Increasing the size of the breast is something which is not at all easy to do. But if you apply oil regularly on the breast in circular motions, yes, you will have more blood supply to the coming to the breast, and you can have a larger breast. Shatavari, intake of Shatavari will also help you, because it will basically help the hormones balance a little bit more, and then there is a chance of your breast growing slightly, but you can't have breast going beyond a certain limit. Okay. Are there any side effects in switching to cold breast groundnut oil? Mallikarjun, is very important for you to understand that, are you used to taking cold pressed groundnut oil, or are you used to taking groundnut oil? If you are somebody, your native palli nune they call in Telugu. Okay, if you are used to taking groundnut oil at home, then there is no harm in taking groundnut cold pressed. Cold pressed groundnut oil is much better than the normally refined groundnut oil. You can, refined sunflower oil came only very recently. In my opinion, my personal opinion, I don't even consider sunflower oil as an oil, because oil, the main property what they say is smell. it doesn't have any smell at all. And another thing is, if it has to be sneha, there should be some stickiness. It is not sticky at all, so it doesn't have the basic properties of an oil. Okay, so in my opinion, you can do it if you are used to what you call a cold pressed groundnut oil. Go ahead and do it, no problem, you can use it. Okay, any other questions? So you'll see a lot of companies which make a lot of oils in the market. Okay, and those oils and oils usually have a lifespan or a shelf life of about 2 to 3 years if you have prepared it really well and packed really well. Okay, and before you apply the oil, it is good that you heat it slightly. And normally we say don't heat it directly on the flame. There is something called patrapaka we do. You heat the vessel first, the vessel in which you want to pour the oil. You heat the vessel first without the oil, and then you slowly pour the oil into it. So the heat from the vessel actually gets transmitted into the oil. Okay, you are not heating the oil directly. So that is actually good for application on the body. I don't want, if you're not experienced, what will happen is there's always a chance of you burning the oil, heating it a little bit more than normal. Then, so we discussed the 3 pakas, right? Then it will go to the burnt paka, which is not good. So we don't want the paka to change by you heating it too much. Okay. So, is it okay to mix coconut oil and ghee while cooking? Ganapat, I don't know why do you want to do it. Okay, normally while cooking, in the sense, I don't know how much of oil you use. For deep fry, it's always good to use one oil. Okay, and while cooking, I don't know apart from that, how do you use the coconut oil extra? You might be pouring coconut oil and taking the sabji out. Fine, I would say use one thing at a time. Okay, either you cook it in ghee or cook it in coconut oil, because both oils, when you mix, the temperature at which each can aid in cooking might be different. Okay, so I don't think you have to do it. Cook in one, that's it. Samriddhi, Shatavari is a medicine. Shatavari is a medicine, Ashwagandha is a medicine, Shilajit is a medicine, and I don't recommend people to actually consume that on a daily basis, thinking that it is good for health. No, it is. If you have got a problem, you take something. Once that is solved, stop. Okay, I want you to actually get healthy by eating the right kind of food. Okay, having the right kind of habits in life, and then including exercise, sleeping well, and all those things, and then sleep. Okay, these 3 things. I want you to eat well, sleep well, and exercise moderately and stay healthy. Don't depend too much on Shatavari or Ashwagandha or such things. Okay. Seed oils are not healthy now, which sunflower oil would fall under, right? See, Kim, let me tell you an example. In 2011, when I went to the US for the first time, there was one professor, okay, from I don't want to name, okay, huge, big university in the US, and we were having a conversation, and I was telling that I consume coconut oil. So he said, no, coconut oil is really bad for the heart. It is very bad. All the things he told me, I just listened to him. Same in about 2018 when I went to the US, I met the same person, and then he told me, we have found, okay, the sense the US, we have found that the coconut oil is the best oil for cooking. I immediately told him, yes, I know that the coconut oil is the best oil for cooking for me. Okay, because I am from Kerala, and I've been born and brought up in coconut oil. You squeeze me, more of coconut oil come out than blood. Okay, and then I asked him the same question. So for me, so what is the best oil for you? He's not able to understand that question at all. Okay, And then, ghee was the worst oil. Now ghee has become the best oil. So seed oils were healthy. Seed oils are not healthy now. So tomorrow we don't know what they're going to come up with. So I would say as long as you stick to the oil which you are used to genetically, it's fine, Kim. Okay. Okay, I understand, Ghana fry, but I would still say I don't want you to mix. So how do you mix coconut oil and ghee and cook? I don't know. But there are people, so at home sometimes we cook food in coconut oil. But when we pour that sambar in which we do the tadka, we call, right? Seasoning in coconut oil. But when we add that sambar, we add a little of ghee and have it. But we don't use ghee and oil at the same time for cooking. Um, is it right to heat all cold pressed oil in cooking for a while before? No, need not, Shyam. Okay. Cold pressed oil need not be heated. Cold pressed oil does not mean that you have to heat it to make it really good. It is the purest form in the sense you have not applied any heat to extract the oil out of it. So, coconut oil, when you get cold pressed oil, there's something called mercupurity in Malayalam, where you only cook all the vegetables. You don't even do seasoning. You cook all the vegetables, and before you actually take it out from the pan, you pour fresh coconut oil, okay, and then you can. It's easier for you to take the all the vegetables from the pan, so it doesn't stick onto the pan. So there, heating or cooking of the oil also doesn't happen. Okay, so cold pressed oil is safe to cook without heating. Okay, Shyam. So any other questions? Any other questions regarding making of oil? If you want to, okay. It's just a question, I know it is theoretical, but still, there are certain things like karpura or camphor which we don't add while making the oil. After the oil is cooked, okay, and you filter it and you put it down. It will be still hot. Okay, you are filtering it when it is hot. You don't wait for some time. You don't wait too much for it to cool. You filter it. You put it. It will be still hot. That is when you mix camphor and cloves and keep it. Okay, so you don't actually heat camphor because you know that the smell and the volatile oils of the camphor will escape. We were using sunflower oil till recently and moved to groundnut oil, but feeling slightly difference in health. I don't think it could be due to shifting. See whether you are used to groundnut oil at all. Okay, but I think just a matter of time. It will slowly settle, and I don't want you to do too much of deep frying. Okay, Mallikarjun. Even though it is sunflower oil or groundnut oil, don't do too much of deep frying eating. Okay, I think you should be fine. How do you make oils at home like coconut oil? I didn't understand that. Oh, in Ayurveda, how do you medicate a coconut oil? The process is the same. Okay, suppose you are making a hair oil at home and you are adding, you want add bhungaraja, amla, and all those things. It's just an example. Okay, so you can take the juice of bhungaraja, you can take the juice of amla, and then you can. So that is again 16 parts. Okay, 4 part is the oil, and 1 part. What you do is the same thing. If they have not told what are the medicines have to be used as kalka or the medicine, the same amla and bhringaraj can be used as a paste to put inside the oil and cook it. And after, so what happens? You are actually potensifying that oil, and that same paste you can use to check whether the oil is cooked or not. Hope you understand that. So the making of oil, whether you make it at home or you make it, see, Samarthi, let me put it very clearly. Okay, industrial manufacturing of Ayurvedic medicines might have come only about, might be after Dabur, or by maybe 100 years back. Apart from that, Ayurveda, suppose somebody, you come to me with a problem, okay, I will take these medicines, take this much of oil, take this much of water, and make the oil at home. Every oil, every medicine, every kashayam, okay, every kala, every powder was made at home or made by the Vaidya for that patient. So the way you manufacture it at home or the way you manufacture it industrially is not different at all. Okay, hope that is clear, Samriti. Okay, no change. You can't dilute the making when you're making it at home. Okay. Any other questions? Or shall we come to an end of the session? Okay. Thanks a lot. I'll see you next week with some other topic. Okay. Namaste.